This is the global news update on top Accolade News. The headlines: Myanmar junta forms election commission. Macau Democrat arrested for national security charges. Trump announces South Korea trade deal. Canada to recognize Palestinian states. We start today with the focus in politics. Myanmar junta forms election commission. Myanmar's military junta has announced the formation of an 11-member commission led by military chief Min Aung Hlaing to oversee a national election, with state media confirming they will also serve as interim president while maintaining his role as commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Although no official date was released, Min Aung Hlaing indicated the vote could take place in December, marking the country's first election since the 2021 military coup plunged the nation into civil war. Critics warn the military's tight grip on the process raises concern over the election's legitimacy amid ongoing conflict and repression of political opponents. Still in politics, Macau Democrat arrested for national security charges. In Macau, prominent pro-democracy activist and former lawmaker Au Kam San has been arrested for allegedly colluding with foreign forces to undermine national security, with authorities accusing him of spreading seditious information abroad and attempting to disrupt the upcoming leadership election. The 68-year-old, who served nearly 20 years in the legislature and co-founded the New Macau Association, has long been a vocal critic of government secrecy and social inequality. His arrest follows the 2023 amendments to Macau's national security law, aligning it with stricter laws in Hong Kong and mainland China, sparking fears of a broader crackdown on dissent in China's semi-autonomous territories. In economy, Trump announcing South Korea trade deal. U.S. President Donald Trump has announced a sweeping new trade deal with South Korea, imposing a 15% tariff on South Korean exports to the U.S., while granting unrestricted access for American goods, including vehicles, farm products, and energy, to South Korea's markets. Trump also claims Seoul will invest $350 billion in U.S.-controlled projects and buy $100 billion in American liquefied natural gas, with all investment personally selected by him. Unveiling the agreement on Truth Social and calling it a full and complete trade deal, Trump says it reflects his broader push for tough bilateral deals, following a similar pact with Pakistan and ahead of his August 1st trade deadline. South Korea has yet to confirm the deal, but it marks a potential dramatic shift in U.S.-Asia economic relations. Moving to international relations, Canada to recognize Palestinian state. Canada is set to formally recognize a Palestinian state this September, Prime Minister Mark Carney announced, making it the third G7 country to do so after the UK and France. The recognition would depend on democratic reforms within the Palestinian Authority, including election free of Hamas influence. Carney cited Israel's settlement expansion and the worsening humanitarian crisis in Gaza as reason for shifting away from the traditional two-state negotiation approach, saying the suffering had become intolerable. The decision drew sharp criticism from Israel and Canada's Conservative Party, who accused Ottawa of undermining ceasefire efforts. However, Carney stressed the move was independently made, not influenced by other countries. Nearly 200 former Canadian diplomats have endorsed the recognition, saying it aligns with Canada's core values. If finalized, Canada will join 147 UN member states in recognizing Palestinian statehood. You're watching the Global News Update on Top Accolade News. Do stay with us. Still to come. Thanks for staying with us. In conflict, Russian strike on Kyiv kills 6. A devastating Russian missile and drone attack on Kyiv between July 30th and 31st killed 6 people, including a 6-year-old child, and injured at least 52 others as strikes hit 4 districts of the Ukrainian capital, causing the collapse of part of a 9-story residential building, widespread fires, and damage to civilian infrastructure, including a school, a kindergarten, and children's hospital worked. Emergency crews worked through the night to rescue survivors from the rubble, while Kyiv Mayor and President Zelensky confirmed that civilians remain trapped. Zelensky condemned the assault as a deliberate act of terrorism and shared video footages on social media. With dozens of vehicles destroyed and casualty counts still rising, the overnight bombardment stands as one of the deadliest recent attacks on Kyiv, underscoring the continuing threat to Ukrainian cities and the mounting human toll of Russia's invasion. Still in conflict, Cambodia accuses Thailand of killing soldier after ceasefire. Tensions arising once again between Thailand and Cambodia just days after a ceasefire ended deadly border clashes that left 43 dead and displaced over 300,000. Cambodia now accuses Thailand of detaining 20 of its soldiers and killing one in custody, insisting the troops surrendered voluntarily and are being investigated. Cambodia Prime Minister Hun Manet is calling for their immediate release. The fragile truce brokered in Malaysia with US backing is now under strain as both sides exchange accusations. The decades-long dispute over their 817-kilometer undermatched border, particularly around historic temple sites, remain unresolved. Washington has warned that renewed conflict could jeopardize trade deals, with both countries facing a looming 36% tariff on exports to the US. Turning to entertainment, TikTok removes Huda Kattan's video blaming Israel for global conflicts. TikTok has taken down a video by beauty mogul Huda Kattan after she promoted conspiracy theories, falsely blaming Israel for major global events, including both World Wars, 9/11, and the October 7th Hamas attacks. The Iraqi-American founder of Huda Beauty told her 1.7 million TikTok followers there was evidence of Israeli involvement, prompting sharp condemnation from Jewish advocacy groups who labeled the claims anti-Semitic and historically false. With 57 million Instagram followers and a high-profile presence on Forbes' top creator list, Kattan's influence has raised concern among critics who say such rhetoric is both irresponsible and dangerous. While neither Kattan nor her brand has issued a statement, TikTok confirmed the video was removed for violating its hate speech and misinformation policies as calls grow for greater accountability from influencers on global platforms. Now in sports. World Athletics enforces gene test to determine eligibility for female category. World Athletics has announced that starting September 1st, athletes must undergo one-time SRY gene test to compete in the female category of the world ranking events, including the upcoming World Championships in Tokyo. The test, which detects the presence of the Y chromosome and confirms biological sex, can be conducted via cheek swab or blood samples and will be overseen by national federations. World Athletics President Sebastian Coe said the measure is essential to ensure fairness and integrity in women's sport, stating that gender cannot trump biology. The decision follows years of debate surrounding eligibility for transgender and DSD athletes and mirrors similar rules introduced by World Boxing in May. That concludes our global news updates for today. Stay tuned for more global news and development. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ojorume Okocha. Connect and engage with us on all our social media handles. Do have a wonderful day.